Hello, fellow teachers, homeschool moms, or even homeschool dads. I'm the one that shoots with two cute classrooms, and today I want to talk about some advice I would give myself if I met my first year teacher self. That was a question that was asked on Instagram, and I gave about 2 answers, but I want to go a little more in depth into it because as a novice teacher, there's some things that you need to know that you probably don't know, and I wish I had known when I first started teaching. So I'm going to dive right in, but be sure to follow my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and subscribe. Don't forget also to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so the first thing I would tell myself, of course, is to be sure to listen to advice from older teachers, because a lot of times we do think we know things, and we know some stuff, but you don't know quite as much as you think you know. So be sure to listen to them, because they can give you some very valuable advice. They can tell you some things about the district in which you're going. They know which people to sort of to stay away from and what to do, places you can and cannot go. So be sure to listen to them. As I said, they're a wealth of knowledge. Don't be just thinking you know everything and that they don't and they're behind the time. Yes, you can teach them some things, but I promise you, they can teach you something too. The next thing I would tell myself, of course, is to leave those papers on the desk, grab your keys, your purse, head outside to the car, and go home. Over the years, I've learned, and I've learned that you will never get finished working. There's always going to be something else to do. Even if you plan ahead and you're an effective planner like I am, and I'm pretty good with planning, there is never going to be a time when you're completely finished. There's always going to be some idea brimming in your mind. There's always going to be some paperwork that needs completed. There's always going to be that student that needs a little extra help. There's always something extra that you could do. I used to watch some of those teachers that would just go home. They didn't have any bags. They would get in their car. And I said, oh, how dare they? They're not doing anything. They're not good teachers. They're not effective. And they were. They were happier. They were healthier. They were enjoying their family more. But I was sitting here lugging all these papers home, putting them in my car, taking them home, turning my house into an office, spending little to no time with my family. And I have to ask myself now, was it worth it? Was it really, really worth it? No, it was not. So yeah, you'll get ahead but you don't quite get all of the effect you think you should from doing that. You're shorting yourself, you're shorting your family. You might not get to be a teacher of the year or recognized for all that work you've done. I know I've always done, in all honesty, not to brag, but I've always done above and beyond, and didn't quite see the results I would have thought, or get the recognition I think I should have, and this should have deserved for some of it. And so I've learned. Well, after having had to teach in a pandemic in the school year of 2020 and 2021 and talk to other teachers, I learned that we had to learn to prioritize. We began to realize that our health, our family was just as important as the education of our students. Not saying we're going to short those kids of an education, but saying that you have to have sense enough to realize that you have a family. Your health is important. Sound like the thing if you're on the plane, they tell you to put your air mask on first and then do your kids, or then do the next person. Same premise. You need to take care of you so that you can take care of that other person. If you give out of air, if you got the child's air thing on, you're still dead and they're still at a loss. So do yourself and your students, your school district, do them a favor. Take care of you. That way you can be a better, more effective teacher. The third thing I would tell myself is be flexible, be adaptable. Don't be such a stick in the mud. Don't be so set on routines that you can't change, that you're not willing to listen or learn. They had a fire drill. Oh my God, they had a fire drill. They had a fire drill. They had a fire drill. What am I going to do? My game is thrown off. No, that's just life. Things happen. And so be flexible. Learn to be flexible. Learn to go with the flow. Learn to have a plan B. Not always depend on plan A. And if you see what you're doing is not working, I don't care how hard you planned it or how hard you worked on it, be willing to take another route. Because I know sometimes I spent hours working on lesson plans and getting something together I thought the kids was going to absolutely love, and they hated it or wasn't working the way I thought. So you have to make that change. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to be flexible. The next thing I would tell myself is remember your why. Remember why you became a teacher. Remember why you became an educator. Because the money's not good. It's definitely not about the money. It's not about the weekends or the holidays. And if that's the reason you went into teaching to start with, please consider another profession, because this is not the profession for you. But remember your why. We're here to help educate students. We're here to help mold the minds of the future. We're here to touch lives. We're not here to make a whole lot of money. If you can figure out a way to do it, great. My applause to you. But just from straight teaching, it's probably not going to happen. There are other avenues in which teachers can take to make money, to make other income by using their resources and their talents and their natural born ability. But it's probably not going to happen just in your basic classroom. So when it gets down to that time when you're facing teacher burnout, when you're frustrated, when you just are at the end, remember your why. The next thing I would tell myself is, do not play favorites. I mentioned that in the video before. Do not play favorites. Do not have a student or a few students that you like better than another one, that you give a little more preferential treatment. Those kids are going to remember it. They're going to know. They're going to know. They're going to know you did it. The student you're doing it for may even tell them, may want to rub their nose in a little something. But think about how that would make you feel if you knew that your teacher liked someone better than you. Not saying I did it. If I did, it was unintentional. I tried to make a rule for myself not to like or not to treat any of my students better than the next one. Of course, you are going to have some that sort of, oh, they're so sweet, and they are sweet, but you can't give them any better treatment than you give that student that gets on your last nerve. Because I've actually had those students that got on my last nerve come back years later and tell me how wonderful I was, how much they love me, and how much being my class meant to them. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you got on my last nerve. I loved them that got on my nerve. But I'm saying I am so glad I didn't say or do anything to isolate that student or make them feel like they were less important than any other student that I had. Another thing that the next thing I would like to tell myself or any new teacher would be to be consistent. Be consistent. You can't change the rules tomorrow. You can't change the rules for this student. You can't make that many exceptions today. Of course, something's going to happen every now and then. That's just reality. But you can't keep changing the rules. Be consistent. Be consistent in what you do. Your students will appreciate you. You'll appreciate you. Your parents are going to catch you. The kids are going to call you on their parents are going to call you on. Make sure that you're consistent. It work better for you. Things will go a lot smoother. So these are some things that I would tell my first year teacher self if I met me.